Hey YouTube! In this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to turn the rear drum brakes on a Cherokee XJ into disc brakes using the method of taking the old brakes off a Grand Cherokee. So let's get into it. So you're going to have to find a 1994 to 98 Grand Cherokee ZJ. I happen to live next to a junkyard, so that's where I got my parts from, but you can get them online too. You need to find a Grand Cherokee with ABS so that it has the right proportioning valve for the rear disc brakes. This is the valve right here, located on the passenger side of the master cylinder. The other thing you'll need is the backing plates along with the driver's side brake line and the calipers. The brake pads and rotors will probably be too rusty to reuse, so go ahead and leave them. So here are the parts and supplies you're going to need for this job. Backing plates, brake supplies, rotors, grade 8 bolts with matching lock washers and nuts, wheel studs. Be sure to get the right length, brake lines, assorted, and the proportioning valve, along with the spring and the cap. Okay, so before we bring the car in, I just want to gather all the parts together, just to make sure that everything fits together right, and everything's clean and ready to be installed. I'm going to go ahead and install the parking brake, because it's easier to do it now than when it's bolted onto the axle. Come on, there we go. So we're going to use a screwdriver for this. Screwdriver trick. Easy peasy. Everything's good. You pull the emergency brake pawl. Should work on both sides, yeah. Pull that. It needs pressure on this to really work, but you can see parking brake is definitely moving properly. Okay, I have the new caliper here. It's important that you buy the caliper from the junkyard first when you get your brake backing plates, because the core on this was $40, and the caliper from the junkyard was like $12. So you save quite a bit of money if you buy the junk caliper first. And you could probably reuse the junkyard caliper, but I don't like inheriting somebody else's maintenance record. So I just get new stuff. Let's go ahead and remove the filter box cover. Okay, so what we're going to do before we do anything else is replace this proportioning valve. So just a quick note about the prop valve. You absolutely positively cannot reuse the stock XJ cap because they are completely different. If you do reuse your XJ cap, it won't seat properly and it'll start hemorrhaging fluid. So definitely use the ZJ version. Take a 3/4 socket, put a bolt in the bottom. Bam. Okay, so now we're going to bleed it. Put the tube on there. Go ahead and just unscrew this. Okay, now that it's all bled, we're just going to go ahead and put the cap back on. Now the reason why you need to replace the proportioning valve is because during emergency braking situations, the valve will send less power to the rear wheels in order to prevent lockup. Now since the braking profiles for both disc and drum brakes is different, you're going to need a different valve so that you can compensate properly and you don't either get lockups or not stop as fast as you would like to. So now that the wheels are off, I just want to take a quick moment to explain exactly why I'm doing this upgrade. You may notice that this drum looks pretty new, and it is new, because I did the brakes like 3 months ago, and everything looks really new. So why am I doing this now? Well, it's because a couple of weeks ago I was in the Mojave Desert, and this spring right here broke. And I had to crack open the wheel and replace that spring in like 110-degree weather, and something in me just snapped. It's just like, I don't care what it costs, I'm getting rid of these brakes. I mean, I'm doing the upgrade. It's ridiculous. I'm wasting so much of my life just fiddling. You know, it seems like every 2 months I have to do something to them, and I want that to not be the case anymore. Okay, now I'm just going to drop the jack. Let the body rest on the jack stands. Give me a little extra working room on the axle. Wow, that was actually really terrifying. Because I made such interesting sounds, I'm going to go ahead and put a second pair of jack stands under the axle itself. Okay, so now it's time to remove this pin here that's holding the shafts out. Little note on the bolt here that you got to take out. It could be pretty much any size. I can't really tell you what you need. On this one it's an 8mm, but on other axles, like, it could be a star, whatever. Could be an Allen key. So, you know, just come prepared with little tiny wrenches to make sure you can actually get it out. Now that this thing's ready to come out, just a little warning here. This pin is disgustingly well lubricated. It will slide out. So kind of have it horizontal at first while you take the bolt out. And then just your hand down here to catch it. Slowly tip it forward. Okay. Okay. There we are. Put that aside. Now that the center pin is out, all you have to do is just bam, like that. You just gotta remove the seat foot very carefully. There we are. So it's just about to start disassembling the brakes here to get it, you know, the e-brake cable and all that. And I noticed that, look at this adjuster here. It's not where it's supposed to be. So that means that these brakes were malfunctioning the whole time despite being brand new. I guess the cable or something, or this plate here came loose. Who knows? Good riddance. Okay, so this is where the parking brake mounts to the backing plate here. It's like a clip. It has 3 little tabs on it that you have to compress all at once. I'm sure there's a special tool for this, but I'm going to go ahead and just use a 12-point wrench, 13mm. You kind of push it in from the back, slide it all the way down. Good look at that. And then just kind of pull it through. Alright. There we go. Yay! And we're going to put this into a bottle for now. You're going to have to grind out this center hole here, like a couple of millimeter or something, because otherwise it won't fit onto the axle. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be doing some grinding with the Dremel. Torque down the new backing plate bolts to 35 foot-pounds. If you're in a metric country, be sure to use grade 10.9 bolts and tighten down to 50 Newton meters. Okay, the next thing we have to do is take out these wheel studs because they're too short. You have to get the wheel studs from the CJ, and what I'm doing is got a block of wood here on the floor, put that on the wood so that I'm not smashing the spindle into the concrete. Easier to do it this way with gravity helping you. Let's go. Yeah, simple as that. And just to show you real quick, this is a 1/2-inch driver and it fits perfectly over the lugs. So last one. All the lugs are on there, pretty much good enough for now. Yeah. Okay, so here's what I decided to do. I switched the driver's side and passenger side brake lines here, the soft one, and so I could drill a hole through this bracket and attach it to the leaf spring. I didn't actually unbolt the leaf spring. I'm just using whatever's the leftovers are of the threads, and yeah, I think that should be good enough. I just sort of manhandled the brake line to come up here, and there's plenty of play. So yeah, should be good on this side. So for the driver's side brake line, I took the brake line off of the Grand Cherokee, the ZJ, and on the driver's side, and I bent in this little loop-de-loop here. This seems to work a lot better than trying to mangle the default XJ brake line. So now let's discuss what we need to do about the emergency brake. First of all, the emergency brake cables from the ZJ will not fit the XJ. It has to go over the axle and then back up to the driver's side, which is where the bracket is. So we're going to have to use the stock one, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull this out some. And to pull this out, you're going to flip it over, and then we're going to secure it with a U-bolt so that we have a loop. Just going to have to hit some WD-40. Okay. In order to get some play on the end of the cables, we're going to have to take this out a lot, and it's going to be rusty. So get a 13mm wrench, pair of pliers, and go to town. Oh my gosh. So you're going to have to cut the spring at the 2 2/3 mark or the 6cm mark, because otherwise you can't fold over the end of the cable. So take a Dremel and cut the spring at that mark, and then pull off the rest of the spring with a pair of pliers. This is what you got to do. Getting this rest of the spring off is kind of a pain, but if you, kind of twist it off, it kind of comes off. But anyway. There we go. Okay, so this is the end of our project here. Everything's assembled, everything's tight, nothing's leaking, everything's bled. The differential has been filled with fluid. So all we have to do now is put the wheel on and get those studs to come out to be properly seated. That's going to be tedious because it's going to be just a lot of work with a torque wrench. In case you're wondering, this is what the emergency brake looks like with the U-bolt. Take in mind, the U-bolt isn't actually tight. It's pretty loose actually, but the that little thing at the end there that holds it in place, and it also allows the cable to slide a little bit so that both sides are equally taut. Yeah, I believe that's it. Just gonna put on the wheel now. So after doing this upgrade, I can definitely feel a difference in the brakes. There's more pedal travel, but I feel like I have more control over how much braking power there is. Plus, it feels more balanced. It's kind of hard to explain. Well, as you can see, those rear disc brakes look pretty good on this car. I'm gonna have to fix that rear e-brake cable that's hanging down a little low. Yeah, and that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you in your future endeavors. Happy Jeeping! Why is there always a car in the background? Ah!